actually had a friend ring me. She lives in Derby. I've made some quite good friends up in Derby in the last couple of years. And my friend rang me. She'd just got the bus back from Ramsey, and the bus driver was asking her if she's ready for this transformational change that there's going to be to the Derby bus service. And that's when she found out that they're cancelling the regular services and everything's going to be a dial-a-ride at 24 hours notice.
When this was first announced, it was sold as so much more convenient because you can book a specific time, but from what you've been hearing, that's not really the case.
No, absolutely not. There is an argument for having both, for having the regular Irish service plus the opportunity, but then that's what taxis are for. So there's this conflict going on there anyway. People's concerns are, if you need to book 24 hours, I mean, could you book everything 24 hours in advance for what you want to do? What about when you ring the doctors in the morning and they say you can only get an emergency appointment if you ring on the same day? You can't go. The same with a dentist. What about your child who's at Ramsey Grammar School and they're sick during the day and you need to bring them home? How are they supposed to get home? What about the people who aren't planning or want to do anything spontaneous? And what about tourists, do I dare say it, who want to go up to the TT Museum, and people who want to go to Derby to visit? How are they supposed to get backwards and forwards by having to pre-book in advance of 24 hours? It's socially isolating. We're chopping people's wings. What about the kids? You know what it's like. I mean, it's closer to you than it is to me, but you know what it's like when you're a kid and you met up with your mates and you said, oh, come on, let's go to. It takes away that spontaneity. So you're going to be trapping the children in the Derby area and not allowing them to get out and go into Ramsey to go bowling, to go and meet up with the pals, because it all needs to be booked 24 hours in advance. It really needs a lot of thinking about. My real concern, and the thing that's got me on my high horse, is that I really sense that this is completely against the spirit, if not the letter, of the Equality Act, because it's going to be disproportionately affecting the women and the children. I would say, the vast majority of the people who use that during the day. And I would like to see the bus companies' surveys that they've done, and looking at who uses the buses, why they use the buses, what the demographics are of the people who use the buses, because my just anecdotal evidence is mostly it's women and children that are going to be penalised by this change, and that's against the Equality Act.
Do you think this is as much about cost saving as trying to provide a better service?
It would appear so. The roots of this appear to be in the SAVE programme. It was quoted that of the £6 million of savings that have been identified in the SAVE programme, over 50% of those can come from public transport. So I'd say that's where this scheme has been identified. And also, don't forget, they have spent £6 million on 33 single-decker buses and 19 minibuses. So they've got to find a use for those buses as well. But is it a case of pound foolish, penny wise? No. But is it a case of penny foolish and pound wise? No. Other way around. Hang on. Help me out.
I'm not sure. I don't know that one.
Hang on. But is it a case of short-term savings against long-term losses? And those losses are things like social mobility. I mean, you can't put a price on social mobility. Public transport is public transport. It's there to provide a service for everybody, and you shouldn't be able to put a pound price on it.
There have already been objections from taxi drivers about this. Why is it so important that the public speaks out as well?
Everybody's got a voice, and we need to use that voice. And if there's a change that's muted or a change that's planned, which is going to affect us, our friends, our family, and other people who we don't know, who we know are going to be affected by that, every single one of us has got a duty to speak up. If we don't use our voice, we won't be listened to.
Have you reached out to Isle of Man Transport, to the Department of Infrastructure? Have you had any feedback from them?
It's all been very swift, actually. This is all cropped up around a telephone call that was made by a friend to me on Monday. I did actually ring the telephone number for the dial-a-ride to find out whether or not the information I'd received was correct. And I was told, yes, definitely, we're going to the dial-a-ride system on the 6th of April. We're still going to be keeping the hourly buses for the first week until people get used to it. But then after that, it's going fully, the Derby service, to the dial-a-ride system. So that's when I got active and started asking questions and asking if people, and it started out as an awareness raising campaign. As has been mentioned this morning, there is actually a document out there that's got the application for the licence, for the RTLC, for the bus vanning to be able to do this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find that application and I'll make sure that that's publicised so people can get fair opportunity to read all the details, think about it themselves, and also if they feel that they want to be able to put an objection into that committee.
One of the reasons the Department of Infrastructure has given for doing this is they don't want half-empty buses going around constantly. What do you think the solution to this problem is?
Well, nobody wants half-empty buses, but my solution would be the complete opposite, which would be to promote the use of buses. We are a biosphere over here. We are looking at what we can do to reduce our carbon footprint on the Isle of Man. So surely we want to be encouraging more and more people to use public transport and to leave the cars at home and to reduce the car journeys that they make. So I always come at things from maybe a slightly different angle, but I'd certainly be wanting more people to leave the cars at home and to use the public transport. Look at making the public transport free. Look at what the value is that would add to our Isle of Man, our economy, and to the people who live here.
Now, you have circulated on Facebook a petition. It's got over 100 signatures already. How can someone find that if they want to add their name to this campaign?
I think you'll fall over it if you go on Facebook. It's been shared an awful lot of times. It's on my personal Facebook page, it's on the Isle of Man Politics page, and it's been shared by an awful lot of people in the north of the island. But also, if that fails, if you Google Go Petitions and check out Derby Transport Petition, you'll find it that way.